All right, welcome everybody to the IU Hoops halftime report. Your Indiana Hoosiers currently lead 43 to 27 over Central Arkansas. Just a horrid start to this game. I mean, 19 points in the first 4 minutes of the half, but obviously Indiana then holds Central Arkansas to just 8 the rest of the way. So that was obviously good to see. But the biggest thing out of this half, I put up a poll question earlier today on in our private community and just said what's kind of the most important thing that you want to get out of tonight. And some of the options were seeing Al Durham get going offensively, see Zach McRoberts start making some shots, get some time for Clifton Moore, Demezy Anderson, and Jake Forrester. The other option was see Justin Smith and Devontae Green get going offensively, and that's actually the option that I chose because I thought, for the long-term health of this team, getting those two guys going and kind of in sync offensively, especially from a scoring standpoint. Both guys are they have a KenPom offensive efficiency rating of under 100, which is not good. And Indiana needs those guys to become more consistent scorers. And what happens in the first half tonight? Justin Smith, 10 points, 5 of 5 from the field, turns it over just one time. Devontae Green, 12 points, 4 of 6 from downtown, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and no turnovers. So there were lots of warts in that first half, especially defensively early on. But I tell you what, seeing Devontae and Justin really get it going, I thought was the most important thing from that half because they're such important players. And part of their issue. Am I not using the right microphone? What's up with the microphone here? There we go. Hang on. Is that mic better? That mic should be better. Boy, talk about poor starts here. I had a poor start just like Indiana had a poor start. Let me know if the mic is better in the YouTube chat. Sorry about that. Okay, now we're back. See, look, your podcasters, your team, we've all got to get off to better starts, clearly. But just great to see Justin and Devontae really get it going there in the first half. Devontae Green played really well in the Butler game. He has really been improving. And this has been important because his improvement has kind of coincided with Al Durham really struggling. I mean, Al kind of looks out of sorts offensively. Again, it was nice to see him get that one bucket, but I mean, he turns it over the first 2 possessions of the game, runs into Juwan Morgan on one of those, and, Archie immediately took him out. So Al continuing to struggle, it's really important for Devontae to get going. And, between he and Romeo Langford, Romeo with 7 rebounds, I thought Romeo especially was really looking to pass and create for his teammates early on. He ends up with 4 assists, also scores 8 points. He was pretty solid. So those 2 guys, plus Justin Smith, really powering Indiana right now. And that was really good to see. Defensively, I can't imagine Archie's going to be real happy with the defense. Certainly the way Indiana started. I mean, that kind of defense is going to get you absolutely killed in the Big Ten. It got you killed here on your home floor against Central Arkansas. It was nice that they were able to tighten the screws and really shut Arkansas State down after that. But I have to say, some of that was Arkansas State missing shots. I do think the defense was better, don't get me wrong. But I don't, it wasn't the kind of defense that you're going to write home about. I thought a lot of that was, Central Arkansas started missing some shots. But Indiana did contain dribble penetration better because what you really saw early in the game is they were basically dribbling anywhere they wanted to go. And when you can get dribble penetration all over the half court, you just totally blow the pack line defense up because you're constantly helping and rotating. I mean, you have to have especially guards that can keep their man in front of them. That's why that is so important. And if you don't have that, it discombobulates everything. It leads to open threes. And I thought that's what was happening some early. And again, it got better as we went on. So, look, I think at some point Indiana's going to have to figure out these poor starts because while they've been able to come back and they've been able to kind of work their way back in some of these games, it's not going to happen all the time. And so, we'll talk about that more on the postgame show. That was one of the other things that I really wanted to see tonight was the team kind of come out and play a little bit better from the start. And it's maybe not a fair comparison, I guess, just because I know sometimes it's hard to get up for some of these games against the lower rated teams over the holidays. But as we've talked about, just like finishing games is a habit, the way you start games is a habit, and clearly Indiana hasn't unlocked that, but they did really get it going.
and they improved inside of the game, to use an old Tom Crean term. They turned the ball over a lot at the beginning of the game, really shut that down. They didn't rebound as well early in the game, really got that going. So, all in all, I thought it was a good first half for Indiana, especially from the fact, again, that Devontae and Justin really got going. Now it'd be nice to see those guys do that in the second half, but most importantly, come out and start the second half well. Let's push this out to a 20, 25-point lead. Get Juwan off the court. Get Romeo off the court. Rob Finney, I don't know that we'll see him. Hopefully, I would love to see him because it would mean he's healthy, but, hopefully we don't need him, obviously, and he can, take the rest of this time off. But I would also like to see Al Durham get himself going because we don't have enough depth at guard that we can just have one of our guards being a complete non-factor on the offensive end. And that's what Al's been. He didn't score against Louisville. He didn't score against Butler. He's got those 2 points today. I'd like to see him get going, get some confidence back because he's a guy, we saw it last year. His confidence can fluctuate. So that's another thing that can be important here in the second half, in addition to hopefully being able to empty the bench and get Clifton and Jake in there. But anyway, sorry again for the problems with the microphone. I was switching between microphones earlier today. Didn't do a check. That is totally my fault on me. But thank you, everybody, for letting me know in the YouTube chat. And, we'll be here on the postgame show. I believe Andy and Ryan will be here, so that'll be fun. And we hope that you will join us. And hopefully it's a fun, festive episode that is a little bit less stressful than the UT Arlington and UC Davis ones were. All right, everybody, enjoy the second half, and I'll talk to you on the postgame show.